Okay, welcome. Today is February 8th. My name's Jess Markowitz, your superstar director. And the structure of our Monday Magical Morning discussions are focused on the previous Tuesday's All Consultant Call. The reason behind that is that I want to encourage duplication and working smarter, not harder. And as a leader, once you start to build a business, I don't want you guys racking your brains and stressing about what do I have to talk to, what should I talk about? What are topics that that I should talk about just like all the time? Because here's the thing, guys, there's so much trainings going on all the time with other team members, other groups, other consultants in Scentsy, that I want it to stay simple. Our simplicity is one of our core values. And so if you're not utilizing what the company is already created for you, you're making it harder than being smarter with your business. So even if you can't watch it live, now you do have an opportunity to win prizes if you watch it live, which is awesome. But you could literally watch it 30 minutes before we jump on this call. That's what I did this week. Had so much going on in my personal life that I did not have time to sit down and watch it. So I did it right before we jumped on. And to be honest with you, I'm fresh and I know what it's fresh on my mind. And so I encourage you guys to do that. This call is meant to be a discussion, not a training session. So if you haven't watched the All Consultant Call, you may be kind of behind. You may not know a lot what we're talking about. So it'll hopefully give you the FMO, fear of missing out kind of feeling of like, man, I wish I watched that show. All right, so Janice shared that she did watch it. So would you mind sharing some highlights of what you learned and maybe any thoughts that you had that kind of give you some ahas with us?
Okay, so I also just watched it right before this.
Awesome.
This call. Yeah, and I was a little worried I wouldn't have enough time, but I saw it was a really short one. It was like only like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was really short.
So it was really short, which was good. So when she's talking about the list, and she kind of gave some good things like you were saying before, like if you're an extrovert or an introvert and things like that. And so people feel like you have to actually talk to all these people and, feel comfortable with that. But, the idea that she gave about using social media is good. But one thing that I did I'm having a conflict is that I have a social media for my business that's completely separate of my personal life. So most of my friends are on my personal life one, or the people that would be on my list. And, some of them are also on, my business account. But so when she's saying like, comment on, like genuinely comment on people's posts and really, engage with them, I'm sort of like, is that on my business one? Because that's not really where all of these people are, you know what I mean, versus my profession, my personal one. So I'm kind of like, I wish that she had kind of talked a little bit more about having a professional business one versus a personal.
Okay, so I can kind of talk about that. So the difference between our type of a business, and you always hear in business like business and pleasure are separate. Well, unfortunately, with our kind of business, because we are the business and the people we know becomes our business, we do have to marry those together. And so now that I know that you said you have like a business page and your personal page, it's important to share those posts over to your personal page. And that's the legal way that Facebook wants it to be. You're going to see that a lot of consultants don't do that, but in Facebook's actual standards, they legally don't want you posting anything about your business on your personal page, but you are allowed to share it. So you're like actually in a place that is good because a lot of consultants, all they do is post their website and everything on their personal page, and then they get in Facebook jail because they're doing what they're not supposed to be doing. So you're kind of starting in a nice, fresh, clean slate, and you have your business people and your personal people. But if you start just adding that extra step of just sharing whatever you do on your business page to your personal, you're going to start probably getting people to start liking that page. And you can even in the blurb be like, if you're not a part of my business page, please like it, you know, and you may even say something like, you'll be glad that you did. And you can make like a little, you know, maybe a little mailer that you send them a little sample because they liked your page. You can't say that you're going to do that, but you can just say, you'll be happy you did. And then they know they're going to get something out of it because they liked your page. As far as commenting and liking, it's definitely your personal page because you want to convert them into supporting your business, but on a very genuine level, right? So she mentioned how you don't like if they comment or like your page, you're not going to just go on Facebook, message them and say, hey, have you seen my new warmer 10% off this month? You know, like totally unrelated. Right. You haven't talked to them about Scentsy, but it's a way to kind of get the conversation going. And then maybe after you've done some dialogue back and forth, you may say, when you feel like there's a good connection going again, then you can slowly either mention something or you're basically, there's only a matter of time before they do mention something because when, like she said, the algorithms change. So when you're starting to comment and like or heart, which the comments is really what's going to get your algorithms going, it's going to make that person see your posts more often. So when they see that like twice a day, you're sharing a post from your business page, because you've started that personal dialogue with them, they're going to be more aware of what they're seeing on your page instead of just scrolling right through it. I always use the example of when you go to buy a car, you know, you've never noticed that car. And then as soon as you buy it, all of a sudden you see it. Everybody has your car, it seems like, right? You're like, wait a minute, never saw this car before. It's just, I forget what it's called, but it's like psychological awareness, but there's a specific name for it. But so once you start that connection, it's going to open up their, a place of recognition that they didn't have available, basically opening their eyes to something they didn't see before because you have that connection going. And so when they see a post about Scentsy shared from your business, they're going to start paying attention. They may not say anything or they may not comment or do anything for a while, but if you keep that dialogue going, eventually they're going to go, hey, you know that warmer you posted, you know, blah, 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 you know, like, you know, how fast can it get to my house? Or what is this about that you've been selling for all this time? But it's a very natural way for you to get that interest happening without just messaging people out of nowhere, which she calls it cold calling, because that's basically what it is, without any type of relationship building, especially if it's somebody you haven't talked to in a while. Like she said, you don't want to just message somebody that you haven't talked to in a year and be like, hey, have you seen my Scentsy page yet? You know? Right. So that's kind of, I hope, does that help you a little bit? Did that kind of answer your question?
I was actually thinking more in terms, I guess because I'm not on Facebook as much. So I think Facebook is a lot easier to post. So this is what I do. I post to my business Instagram.
Okay.
Share that to my, and then it automatically, you know, posts it to my Facebook business page. And then I share that business page usually though just into my like VIP group. I don't usually share it on my personal page because I know that there was that whole thing beforehand and I didn't want to seem like, as much as I post there, I don't want it to seem like, here we are, you know, just
so maybe just be a little bit more conservative with your sharing to your personal page if your VIP people are getting it. But you have to think about it. Your VIP people are already sold. They already know the product. They already, hopefully they know that they can host, they know that they can buy, right?
Right.
So they've already know their options. That's why they're VIPs. But you're not going to find new people, which is a absolutely 100% vital part of your business, unless you are utilizing your resources with your network. And so if you have like, do you know how many friends you have on Facebook?
I don't know, maybe 150, not very much. I'm very conservative. Like,
Okay.
that's why I have like a separate Instagram business page that's open, that's not restricted or anything, and then an Instagram that's personal, that's just really only my friends. You know what I mean? Because
Well,
yeah, I don't.
I mean, it's really your choice. In the end, it's your business. It's just,
Mm,
Facebook is obviously just a great way to, like, when you get a customer, um, finding them on Facebook is a really important thing to do, because you don't have to you don't have to necessarily friend them, but you can message them and say, hey, here's my VIP page, or here's my business page. Definitely like it, so you can see what's going on with Scentsy. But if you don't make that step, it's another avenue. Like, we don't know, there's no way of knowing what's the best communication with our clients unless we're actually asking them. So a good, like, I have like a step system. When somebody places an order, I have like a color code of what I've done with them. I'll say I've added them to my VIP page, or I've asked them to like my business page. And then it'll be colored a different color once they've actually accepted my invitation, or they liked my page. Because I'm very big on layering, because you don't know unless they say, I'm not on Facebook, so that's not a way for you to connect with me. Or they say, I don't want to be emailed, or, because most people, when you ask them, they're going to tell you, oh, Facebook's fine. Because more people than we realize actually they utilize Facebook as a main source of communication. Even with like, I have people that I talk to them on Facebook message, like phone. Like, I don't even have their phone number, but they'll call me on Facebook message to talk about what they want to buy or whatever. So it's like their safety. I don't want you to know my number, but I want, if you need to connect with me. So we just always have to be thinking very broad. If our business
mm,
if you're looking at it as a business and you're looking at it to literally grow consistently, because we'll always end up to a point of, we'll come to a wall. And if we don't have opportunities every single month with, like you said, getting, like, you don't have that many Facebook friends. So if you want to keep it that way, that's fine. But your Facebook business page needs to be growing as far as number, who's liking it. And your VIP page should be growing.
right.
Because otherwise, like I said, you're going to get to a point that you have nobody to ask to host. You have nobody to ask to join. You have nobody to ask to buy more new products, because everybody's bought this month, or, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah, I'm used to doing a lot of events,
okay.
except for the last year,
Yeah.
obviously, especially
Yeah.
here in LA, that just it's not an option. Or I guess it is now, but people are starting to do more things, but like outdoors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not really gonna work for me without the electricity and stuff, but um, or just in general. But so yeah, the last year has been a bit of a like just
To meet new people. Yeah.
not
And
a lot of growth because well, I had stuff going on, but also too just pandemic. And usually I would be at events like once a month
meeting new
at
people.
least once a month, and like I'm talking like really big where you can get a lot of traffic and a lot of people always say like, how do you get new customers? Like that's how I got them, by doing vendor events.
And
That's
she even talks about that, a lot of us that are, vendor events that we do, that's me too. That you can't, and that's why social media is like the place we have to really utilize as how to meet new people. And so, for instance, like, if you looked at all your business page, like all the people that have liked your page, if you figure out two people that they can give you referrals for, hey, Susan, you've been my client for X amount of years. Do you happen to have any referrals of anybody that likes fragrance, that maybe looking for some extra income, because a lot of people have lost their a leg of income, or in some way they go, like a lot of restaurant people, because it's only 25%, those waitresses and waiters are losing tips, because they're not used to, like, the whole place is supposed to be packed, and they have like a whole section, so they're used to making a certain amount every week and every day. and it's gotten cut in half. So, and I've heard somebody said it. Oh, I actually was talking to my postal lady, and she was like, yeah, this year is going to be the year of hustling and a side hustle. That's what she said, the word side hustle. And so I've been talking to her about joining Scentsy for years, and she's finally now considering it because now she needs that side hustle because, you know, her things are just different. Like they had to cut her hours at the postal place. So I wanted to, before we get off that part, Cindy, you just did, or you are doing, because Cindy's still doing events right now. So I'm curious, what can you share with us, like what that looks like as far as, you know, sanitary, what you're doing with sanitary issues, and then how your events have changed opposed to the current situation opposed to before. Like, do you see a drastic difference in people coming through or things like that?
We did one before the holiday, and that was when the occupancy, I think, was 50%. So constant flow. The one we did this past weekend was at Boulder Station, and they're very pretty strict there. It's 25%, and they were counting the people that came in. A couple times, a few of those vendors that had multiple people there had to go wait outside in the casino. Fine. So I went out a few times, and then Ralph went out once or twice. But have a big thing as hand sanitizer right there. I still encourage them to take the scent, the bars, and open them, smell them. We wipe them off and everything. There was a good flow, but it went in spurts.
Okay. And when they smelled, they kept their mask on? Or did they take them off?
They kept them on.
Oh, they kept them on. Okay. Well, hopefully they got good
They would hold it like this and kind of like.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess it depends on the person's just how comfortable they are, right? And how nervous. But they wouldn't be out in public if they were that nervous anyways, when you think about it.
I had a lady, because I just took a drink of water or something, and I had my mask on, and I put it up real quick. She goes, "Oh no, you're okay." She says, "I don't care if your mask is on or not." So the majority of people will let you know if they're comfortable or not comfortable, or how comfortable they are. And we didn't really come across anybody that was very uncomfortable. But like you said, they probably wouldn't be out there in an event like this if they felt that way.
Yeah, I had my Allie's birthday. Well, you know this, but my daughter's birthday was on Friday. So we had my parents and Mitch's parents over for cake and ice cream. And I got this email from for a seniors day out. It's a company I've been working with for years. And they're like, do you want to get on the list of, they have like just back to back in different places. And I asked both sets, my mom is like super, this is the first time my mom has stepped in my house in over a year. And then my mother-in-law is a totally opposite. She's older than my mom, but she's like, whatever, if it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen, like type person. So I wanted to see the two different, and I was actually shocked that my mother-in-law, who still gallivants wherever she wants to go, they go to dinner all the time. They just, wherever, if she needs to go somewhere, she goes and gets her nails done, her hair done. She said she wouldn't go to an event like that. Like I said, would you go to a seniors day out if, you were invited or whatever? And she's like, nowhere where there's crowds, I wouldn't go. But I guess they go to restaurants that are like at the half, quarter capacity or whatever. So it's just so hard to kind of peg what people will say and whether they're going to be willing to go or not, I'm just so happy that you found places that people are actually going to. That's awesome. That's really cool.
There was quite a few people that came through that would like walk down the center of the aisle and not really talk. They would just look, but other than that, yeah, we did pretty good.
Were people taking things from you? Like, did you hand out samples or anything, or were they hesitant to that?
Samples, yes.
And they weren't hesitant about that?
Not at all.
That's awesome. So yeah, I guess it's really just like, how bad do you want to grow your list and meet new people? Like, here's the thing, when it comes to building your list of 100, like Carla Hunter said, it has to be evolving, like changing. And like, as soon as you sponsor somebody or they buy or they host or whatever, or you've done all of the above, we have to be replacing it with somebody else. And it's the same idea as, your team. So a lot of people wonder, like, why do I have to keep sponsoring? Like, for instance, me, I've been in it for 10 years. I have a good size organization. Why would somebody like me have to continue to build my front line? The reason why is because when one person's working in February, the other person, like 10 other consultants aren't. And so that can be discouraging to you, or it can be encouraging that you just, it's just the way it works. We just need to be adding people. And when it's not the right time for one person, it is the right time for somebody else. So that's why we have to constantly be asking, but learn a way to, figure out a comfort zone. So it's weird. It's important to be out of your comfort zone, but I always say be comfortable being uncomfortable. So I'm never comfortable when I'm talking to somebody about joining or the first time buying or even buying again. If I don't have a real relationship with them, it takes me a while to kind of figure out how am I going to break the ice to get this conversation started. And so honestly, being somebody, I'm the same with, like, I am like Carla Hunter when it comes to talking to strangers. I'm very introverted. I'm a high functioning introvert, like I shared on the last video, but I didn't know nobody was there. For instance, a strategy just came to mind that I used, and this is, my son plays baseball. I think everybody knows that. And we just got on a new baseball team. And I was like, great, now I have to learn how to talk to all these, and anybody that knows me when it comes to baseball, I'm the shy mom that doesn't talk. That's with everybody until they get to know me. I'm not the kind of person to be like, hi, my name's Jess. Like, that's not me. I have to feel them out. I kind of watch, I smile, if they look like they're inviting and they're trying to I'll be like, hi, I'm Jess, how are you? But I'm not like let me go make up a conversation kind of person. So we were on a new team, and there was some moms in the dugout because it was just a practice time, and I'm sitting there by myself and they're over there, and I'm like, how can I get a conversation going with these ladies and somehow get my business connected with it? And so I had my bag of testers, and I said, I had an event in California coming up. So I go, I'm going to ask them to choose what their 2 favorite scents are between the 2, and let them know. I'm like, I'm having an event in a month, and I'd love to know what scent you think would be a bigger, like, attention grabber at my event in California. So it's kind of like utilizing them. People love to feel like they're helping people and that their opinion matters. So I said, hey ladies, I'm sorry to interrupt. And, I kind of did it with my that's like the body language of like, oh, I'm scared, but sorry to interrupt, because they never heard probably more than 3 words coming out of my mouth. And I said, I'm doing this big event in California, and I'm kind of struggling which scent I should be warming at the event, which will be more like an attraction getter during the season. So I gave them 2 different scents. One of them was a pumpkin, I believe, because it was a fall. And then, I don't know, maybe I did apple or something. And out of nowhere, they were like, oh, definitely this. Oh my gosh, this is great. Do you have any more? And before I knew it, guys, I had a $300 order, and one of them wanted to join. Just because I sat back and I had an issue, which I always have an issue when it comes to people I don't know. I said, how can I break the ice in a way that I'm comfortable being uncomfortable? And in the most like outgoing, it was all her friends. You could tell like she was like the leader of the pack out of the group. And she was the one I was like, I turned it into her party, and I said, hey, all these girls are going to have to order again. You might as well make some extra income. So did I ask her? Did I say, do you want to become a Scentsy consultant? No, I said, hey, they got to order from someone. Might as well be you. And she was like, well, shoot. Okay. And that's how simple it was. But we have to be constantly thinking of strategy. If you're not getting new things happening in your business, you have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what can I do that I wasn't doing before? Or what have I not done yet? Or what have I done before and I'm not doing now, or I haven't done in a while? So, like for instance, when I was listening to this call, it made me realize how long it's been since I've even looked at my list 100. And I definitely have never done a strategy like she said to, have 5 to 10 people every day comment on them. And what she said is if you are 10 days, 10 people for 10 days, you're going to go through your list of 100, right? And so that was a huge eye opener for me. I don't know about you guys, how many people you can literally knock out if you challenge yourself for 10 days and 10 people a day. That's huge, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think like, since I've kind of really been not like more sparse on Facebook, so I use kind of Instagram more. So,
Oh,
but
and
I
that's
mean,
fine if that's your platform. And I'm sorry, like I'm kind of like encouraging to be on Facebook, but if you've got a good following on Instagram, Instagram is actually known to be the better marketing place of today. So you're probably doing it right. But as long as you have a way to be meeting new people, and you're actually like liking and commenting on Instagram when people's, so since Instagram's more your business, I would do exactly what she said on Facebook, but do it on Instagram. So pick 10 people, watch what they're doing, comment on their page for 10, 10 different people a day for 10 days, and see how many people start asking questions or get interest or start following you back. I would be really interested for you to share that little.
Yeah, that's been my biggest problem, is just being consistent, like really super consistent. Like I'll post, and then like if we're having a special sale or something like new or licensed coming out, I'll be like, yay, and then I might not for 2 or 3 days, and I need to be more like every single day and posting more of my stuff, and not just like we're having a sale, this is what's happening.
See, that's the thing. Consistency is absolutely key. So when we think about it, when there's a business, let's just talk about Walmart, a huge business, right? Do they choose how often and when they're going to open their doors? No, they have store hours, right? So on their doors, they say, I am open from this to this, and it's consistent every single week, no matter whether there's a tornado outside or like they are open. Like I think Walmart's the only time they close is on Christmas Day, and that's it. And it may not be a full 24 hours. It's like I don't know, maybe like a 12-hour bracket that they close down for Christmas Day. And so when we're thinking about our business as a business, we have to set business hours. The cool thing is it is your business, so you get to choose, but you could say, okay, Monday through Friday, this is when I do my Instagram posts. There's also lots of like apps and things you can buy to like pre-schedule out everything and just knock them out for the whole month if you want to. Which I know a lot of people say that they get a lot of like good responses that once they see that it's being consistent. Now all you have to do is keep up with the comments instead of worrying about posting every day. Now you've scheduled them out for even just a week. It'll help you, or 2 weeks or a month, whatever. And then every day I go on and I check my Instagram comments, or I post, whatever you decide to do, but it has to be consistent, because there's no way to know what's working if there's no consistency. Right. That's just unfortunately the way it goes. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, that I am consistent in every area of my business. I am 100% not. But I do know my success that I've had always had to do with my consistency of whatever I do. And wherever my weaknesses are, it's always when I'm not consistent with it. And the problem, because I have issues in my own like brain, like I don't remember things easily. So I may start something new and forget that I even did it. And unless I log it somewhere, and it takes me a lot longer to kind of like get on a motion than probably the next person, because I have like a learning disability. So I know that is always going to be a challenge when I start something new. But I do know from experience, the things that I've been consistent with all 10 years, it's like clockwork now. Like there's no effort. It just happens. And my clients, my hosts, even my team members, like you guys all know Jess is going to be here at 5 o'clock on Monday, every single Monday, unless it's a major holiday or Jess is laid up in her bed and she's passed out sick or something, right? Or there's something I just absolutely can't do. And otherwise, I'll have one of you guys run it. Like I had Cindy run one couple months ago for me because I couldn't be on the call for whatever reason. But our clients need to know that they're always going to know that, what the new warm of the month is going to be every first day of the month or every last day of the month. Your clients need to know that every month they're going to know what, and I'm just giving examples. This doesn't have to be, the warm of the month, the scent of the month is definitely important to everybody's business, but like I get the whiff box in my Scentsy club every month just so I can show everybody what's in it. So that's another consistency of me going live. And then, obviously all of our LTOs, there's so much going on that we're lucky that Scentsy gives us a lot to be sharing every month. So it kind of keeps us showing up in their face. But if for one thing Orville said is don't rely your business on an LTO. The LTO should be an addition and like bonus to what you're already doing in your business. Because what if there isn't an LTO that month and we're expecting that, I'm going to get my 200 or my 500 or my 2000 from my LTOs. So, because then we feel like then we're kind of neglecting our normal clientele, right? Because maybe they don't like what we're doing for LTOs. But as far as you, Janice, I would definitely say that you're on the right track. You're doing if you can challenge yourself a 10-day challenge, and see the difference of what really comes in and what kind of relationship building and conversation dialogue you start getting with these people, that's probably going to encourage you to stay more consistent because you're going to see the actual results in even just 10 days. You're going to be like, shoot, if I do this every day, like maybe.
I do that several times. Like, you know what I mean? There'll be sometimes where I'm like, okay, I'm going to really just, message like all these people this week, and I do that, and then it starts coming. I'm like, why don't I do this every month or every couple of weeks? But, it's just life, and so
no, it's true. And maybe 10. That's why she said 5 to 10 people. Like it doesn't have to be 10 people a day if we focused on. And the thing is, this is something that goes on. This is just an example for personal, like in my home. We all try to share chores because my kids are all old enough now to share chores, and like there'll be like dishes in the sink or something, and load of laundry that needs to be done, and it'll be my and I'll say, I just have so much going on. I need you guys to help. But then I'm like, it's my day. I'll go and I'll get it done like in like 5 minutes, and I'm like, if I didn't just do that. I'm telling myself it's going to take so much time away from everything else I need to do. But when you just go and do it, because you're like, I can't spend time on it, you bust things out a lot faster than we always say that people that have less amount of time available actually get more done. And the reason why is because they don't have time to be lollygagging. So they are like, boom, 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 let's whip right through it. But somebody that all they do is Scentsy all day, like me, I tend to procrastinate because I'm like, I'll do it in an hour. I'll do it tomorrow. And so, and it gets to a point that it's crunch time and it's diminished time. If you guys heard my 5Ds the other couple weeks ago, if it's diminished time, I have to knock it out like really fast. And then that's kind of the way Jess works. I kind of work under pressure the best way. And so things get delayed a lot for Jess until it's in that, priority time sensitive time. And then I get it done like this. And so, but I know that about myself. So you have to know how you work, what your weaknesses are and what your strengths are. My weakness is delaying everything. But then my strength is when it's time to diminish, I get things done. And that's, so I know how I work best, but a lot of people don't know. So if you know how you work best, then you can make it work for your business. Like you don't have to make it work the way I do it. It may not make sense to you or not benefit you. Let me see. She mentioned, because we have a couple more minutes. She mentioned how 75% are acquaintances, as far as they're usually going to be on your list. And so they're not going to be your BFF or your family member. So it's going to take time to build those relationships. And as long as we're mentally aware of that, we're not expecting a result right away. You're not going to feel as scared to kind of start it, because, and that's the thing, is that I think in my experience with consultants, I feel like everybody thinks there's going to be this, and you guys are both seasoned consultants, so I know you know this, but a lot of new consultants think they're going to get results immediately. And then when they don't, they think the product sucks, the business sucks, everybody around me doesn't like Scentsy. That's their mindset. Just because everybody they know, their warm market, their friends, their family, their acquaintances aren't responding to them. And it's easy because you're hurt. Your feelings get a little hurt. Like, well, man, I put effort into this and nobody's biting. So you start to feel like, am I doing something wrong? But it's easier to say the product sucked, company sucks, and nobody likes it, or what was the other one I said? I don't know. It's easy to point the finger. And then what happens is they quit. And that is obviously not the answer for anything, right? So just because something gets hard, but I think it's a lot easier to kind of stomach. I'm sorry, I'm just reading. Oh my gosh, same. I don't know what Rebecca meant by that. Something that we were saying. I don't know if one of you guys or me. But if we already go in knowing, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. So like let's use you as an example, Janice. Say you take the 10-day challenge and you message 5 to 10, you comment in like 5 to 10 people every single day. And let's say you get nothing, crickets, any type of response going back and forth, dialogue or whatever. You don't feel like you're closer to getting a dialogue connected within the 10 days. Like you get 10 days happens and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm not any further than I was, on Monday. Is that going to make you say, this sucks, this didn't work, never going to do it again? Or would it make you say, okay, maybe 10 days isn't long enough. Maybe I need to continue. Maybe I need to work on different people. Maybe I need to follow up and create a dialogue myself. And like what she said basically is, when you comment on these posts, maybe private message them saying, oh my gosh, you can comment underneath like, oh, your doggy's so cute. But then you can think, what kind of question can I ask that's not, that pertains to what I just saw? So here's an example. Your friend has a new puppy, okay? And you say, oh my gosh, how cute. So you can private message her and say, hey, is that a Yorkie? Or is that a whatever, or where did you get your puppy? Or, but they have to be genuine. I mean, that's one thing with everything in our business. When you're not genuine, that's when you become a salesperson, the nasty, icky people, right? But when you're generally asking a question that is you really want to know about, they can tell the difference. But if you're just asking like, I always say this when you're talking to somebody in the store, you don't want to say, oh, your kid's so cute, when you're in your brain's thinking, oh man, that's not a cute kid. That's just not right. First of all, it's not nice, but it's also, it's just an icky way. And it's very ingenuine, right? So pick something that you actually feel. Like if you really do like the girl's shirt, then actually tell her. But if you really don't, look for something else to talk to her about, right? And that's the same thing with your post comments. Don't comment something just because you want to get your 10 people in, right? Really generally think, what can I comment on, and what could be my follow-up question that I message and I private message that person. And then you'll be surprised how much dialogue you might be like, man, I can't believe it's been, a whole year since we've chatted. What's going on with you? How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And they may even say, oh yeah, I noticed that you do Scentsy. You're like, yeah, for a long time, but oh, yes, I do. Right. So, all right. Let me see if there was any other notes that I wanted. Is there any other notes that you two wanted to share? Any that stuck out to you?
I think there was one thing that she mentioned that, well, like she said about putting the 100 people when she was like, it's not going to be like 100 people that you actually personally know. It's more like you're going to put down this person, a friend of yours, but you know that she works in an office, so you know that she has 3 office workers, so like coworkers, so you're going to put those 3 people down. Like that would never, like the filler of people I don't know, you know what I mean, wouldn't have normally been what I would thought of. And then when she was mentioning, like, and it seems so easy and effortless when she says it, but so okay, you connect with this friend of yours that works in an office, and you're like, okay, I'm going to send you a catalog, and okay, fine. Oh, would you like me to send 2 or 3 more catalogs for your coworkers? And it just, like, now you have a party, whereas instead of saying, would you like to host a party, then, you know what I mean? So it just kind of, a different way of saying the same thing. So.
Yeah. So I have this, it's so funny you brought that up, because my last note that I wanted to share with you guys was about that. And I was hoping Nadia would be on. She's usually on, so she's got something going on. But the way it's a very simple but clever strategy. So Nadia, I met at an event, a small event at at my kids' school, but I met her once before years ago at my sister's wedding. So I'm married 15 years this year. So it was probably about 16 years ago. Okay. Cause she got married like the November before me. And so when I followed up with her, because she bought like a car bar or something, and I said, would you like to smell the different fragrances that the car bars, or I think it was the car bar that she wanted to like get more of. And I said, I can drop you off the testers. And she's like, cool, absolutely. What I automatically did is had more catalogs in there. Okay. And then I said, and while you have the testers, bring them to work and see if anybody else wants to smell. And, and then I told her, I said, and if enough people order, you might get your stuff free, for free. I said nothing about a party, but I still explained the benefits of the party, but she didn't know she was doing a party. Right. And she ended up getting a qualified party. And so when I talked to her and I was closing it, I talked to her about the, at the time, we didn't have the host exclusive yet, I don't believe. No, we didn't, but we had the $59 what's it called, bonus kit month or something. So I told her, and the same thing, look, you've got people that buy Scentsy from you. You have well over a qualified party, so we can turn this into your party. I won't put this into my workstation. If you want to join, you could join either for the 59 or the 99. And I think she actually chose the 99 because she saw the difference in how much it was worth. I think she may have bought the 59. I don't remember. But so it's really about always from the first step that you meet somebody, you're planning the whole transition. Like I always tell everybody that every customer is just your future consultant. If you're running it like a business, because a business, that is how our business runs, is off. And that's how you maximize the compensation plan, is helping other people get started so they can make a little to a lot more money than they're making without Scentsy, right? A small percentage is going to actually utilize that business plan. The majority of people are going to just get their discount and maybe some extra cash. And so, but we don't know who those people are going to be. So that's why we have to offer it to everybody and not fear, oh, that's my best customer. Oh, that's my best hostess, because we don't know if they're going to end up being your next director on your team or superstar director on your team. And the funny thing is they definitely don't know. I don't know anybody that joined and said, oh, I'm going to be a superstar director. I joined and I saw what the, like one of the highest goals were. And I said, ooh, one day I want to be a superstar director, but I didn't know what that meant. And I didn't know what it meant, what actions I had to take. So I'm a very rare person that thought that way from the beginning, but I also had a dire need for my business to work, which most people don't. They have a day job or they're fine financially. And if we look at our business and ask them, are you living fine? Meaning just paying your bills and just, you're just getting by. One of the things you can talk to them about is, what would it be like that you aren't just getting by and you actually had some extra money to put in a savings? or to put towards, you know, whatever every month that you can't afford right now. Like maybe you want to get a gym subscription, but you can't afford the extra $15 a month, you know? So we have to start really asking people, you know, when they say they're fine, they don't need any extra income, challenge them. Well, what is fine to you? Are you like getting by every month? Or do you have a savings account that you know you can basically use if some reason you lost your job? And here's the thing, most people don't have a savings account, unfortunately. It's really sad. But what's going on in the world right now is the best proof that having a Scentsy business is the best backup plan anybody can have. Because did we know that a pandemic was going to happen? No. And there's been so many consultants this past year that I always say took their kit out of their back pocket when they were just using it when they wanted to use it, and they started building a business because they didn't have a choice. So if you think of your business and you as a sponsor, a business builder, somebody that helps other people build businesses, that change of mindset, you're going to start asking, and you're going to start being more confident, and you're going to see your business grow a lot faster. So we're over time, and I want to give you two a break because we have our meeting in like 10 minutes. Thank you both so much for being on and letting me be able to discuss these things and with you and what you shared. And are you going to take the 10-day challenge, Janice?
I am.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to start tomorrow, but I'm going to.
Okay. Figure out a date of when you're going to start and when you can commit, what time you're going to do it every day. And yeah, I'm going to have you keep me posted on that. Okay. Yeah. Message me, let me know what date it is. Okay.
I will.
All right. Bye, ladies.
Bye.